Hey everyone, this week I want to pose a question. Should AWS be a separate company from Amazon.com Inc.? Some people sure think so, and Jeff Bezos has agreed to testify in front of the House Judiciary Committee, which is overseeing an antitrust investigation. They probably want to talk to him about Amazon's retail business, which is booming. But I think Amazon Web Services is a far more interesting investigatory subject. AWS is one of Amazon's three segments, along with North America and International. In 2019, it did about $35 billion in revenue. If it were independently listed, it'd be a Fortune 100 company. It's about the size of Coca-Cola or Capital One, and boy is it growing. It went from $17.5 billion in 2017 revenue to $26.7 billion in 2018, right up to $35 billion in 2019. It doubled in 2 years. It's amazing. So we've established that they're big and growing. But what about the competitive landscape? When it comes to retail, Amazon competes with everyone. That's kind of the point. They sell everything from A to Z. But there really is no shortage of retail outlets competing online today. Amazon might be the biggest online retailer by a long shot, but it's not the only one, and online retail isn't the only way to buy things. In fact, the online sector makes up a tiny piece of the delicious retail pie. So we'll let the Congress people interrogate Bezos, and I have no doubt he'll point to Amazon's relatively tiny share of overall retail sales, while ignoring its digital hegemony. But what about AWS? That's what we're here to talk about after all. Unlike regular old Amazon.com, AWS doesn't sell stuff exactly. It sells cloud infrastructure services like its Elastic Compute Cloud and Simple Storage service. There are loads of these services it offers, dozens in fact. If you deal with IT infrastructure, AWS is either that thing that you use or that thing that's on the roadmap. Unless you're a Microsoft customer, that is. Those two providers together have about half of the overall cloud infrastructure as a service market, with AWS coming in at 33%, a full third of the market, well north of its competitors. And I'd argue that from a competition perspective, a monopoly on cloud services has more potential to be abused, since compatibility with major providers can make or break an entire technology ecosystem. Ask your friendly neighborhood IT professional. Vendor lock-in is a real thing. Maybe antitrust regulators should break Amazon and AWS up. I'm not the only one with this idea. In fact, I heard it from Tim Bray, a former Amazon VP who quit a few months ago over what he felt was Amazon's inappropriate response to labor activism. On GitHub, he wrote up a press release and everything and put together a list of prospective frequently asked questions. Why does this matter to customers? How would hiving AWS off from Amazon.com serve the interests of the antitrust folks? According to Bray, AWS as a separate company would empower customers who might otherwise avoid doing business with a competitor. Obviously, Walmart isn't going to back a money truck up to AWS if that money could accelerate its own undoing. Okay, so if this proposal were to go through, if AWS became a separate company, that means that it would have access to an even larger customer base. How does that solve the cloud monopoly problem? Great question, and I'm glad you asked. There are really only three hyperscale cloud infrastructure as a service providers, though I concede this point is debatable. Those are Azure, AWS, and Google. If a company can't do business with AWS for competition reasons, that limits access to cloud services. And most of the conversations I have with IT leaders making these decisions, that means going to Microsoft Azure. Now, Google's made some moves to claim enterprise cloud customers, but relatively speaking, their market share just isn't there yet. Breaking AWS off from Amazon.com won't change anything about Amazon's relative share of the retail market, but it could shake up the cloud infrastructure market a little bit by giving companies that sell things to customers directly access to top-of-the-line suite of cloud services. If nothing else, it could give Amazon's competition more choice. And choice is good. What do you think? Should Amazon spin AWS off? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. We've actually come far enough that I've now started rotating clothing. So if you recognize this shirt from an earlier video, congratulations, good on you. Pretty soon I'll be fully brunette. If you could like and follow me on LinkedIn, that would be great. Subscribe to me on YouTube. Still gunning for those double digits. One of these days I'll get them. Thanks again so much. And yeah, do leave a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this.